I'm working the joinery, the mortise and tenon joinery on this Rhode Island tavern table. This is about a 1700 piece, and I've done one assembly, the one side with the legs, but this isn't glued, it's just temporarily put together. But I've worked this angled joinery on this end. Now I've got to do the other end with the other two legs, and that means working the end apron up at the top and working the bottom end apron here, which I've done some saw cuts with the bandsaw. But first I used the template, full-size template here, to mark out the shape of that tenon, and then mark the two sides here. The tenon itself is a 1/4 inch tenon. I've already sliced out this side waist. Now I'm going to slice out this other side waist. Show you how I do that with hand tools. So these are bandsaw cuts. But I couldn't go with a bandsaw. I couldn't cut all the way back to here, because that would have cut in with this angle. That would have been a problem. So I could only cut to this line, and then with a handsaw I went the rest of the way. So now, to prepare this for cutting this shoulder here, I've got knife marks where that shoulder is, and to help with the sawing, hand sawing, I want to create a little shoulder here. So I just use a chisel back to that knife cut and knock that off, and then create a little more shoulder with some vertical cuts straight down. All right, so that gives me a little groove to help position that saw, and I'll use this crosscut tooth and let it sit into that groove. And I gotta go down a 1/4 inch. Well, that's about it. Yeah, let me pull this off here. Let me just shave that a little bit. Okay, now I can see what I need to do to clean this up. I can, well, first of all, let me just come down with a straight cut And then I can just come in with a chisel flat and clean that up. Now there's a little tiny shoulder there. Let me zoom in. And rotate over a little bit. I may zoom in a little bit more, and maybe you can see that there's still a little bit of waste in there that I can clean up with the chisel. All right. Now I would just want to look at this from another direction here and make sure. Let me look at this from the top. And I'll make sure I've still got a view here. Yes. Now, do you see this little shoulder right in here? That's all got to come out of there. So I'm going to just come in here like this. That gets it down to where it has to be. I don't want any extra material in there because that'll hold it off from entering the mortise. So I want this shoulder to close up on the leg. So that needed to come off. So the only thing I need to do is slice off this little top and bottom part, and I'll do that again with the handsaw.